Welcome to Stitch Trek, everybody, where we talk about Star Trek costumes, where to buy them, how to make them, and sometimes we talk about the Star Trek cruise, because that's the one event I attend, and things changed again. I'm gonna try to make this really quick, because my boyfriend's asleep upstairs. It's very early in the morning, and I have a lot more to do today to play catch up. So, more bad stuff happened. I mean, what are you gonna do? My mother broke her arm. My basement flooded. And my boyfriend decided he can't attend the cruise. That's connected to the basement flooding. My studio, this sewing space, is in the basement. So I wasn't able to work for a long time. Everything from the other section of the basement got moved in here. And then to put it all back, we had to sort through boxes and get rid of stuff. So that stuff is back out, half of it. This whole wall over here is still all stuff. I had to clean this up a little bit to be able to work and film this. We have a guy coming to cut a trench. So everything that we just put out there has to be shifted back again. It's just been a lot. And my boyfriend feels very overwhelmed by the whole process and just thinks he ought to stay home and work on that, which I totally understand. So he is bowed out of attending the cruise with me. However, that does mean that my cousin Tiana will be attending again. She thought that she had previous obligations that were stopping her from coming with me, and those evaporated. So yeah, the team's reunited and I'm really excited about that. That aspect is wonderful. However, I had my costumes planned to go along with my boyfriend's costumes. And I have a pile of costumes for him now, and he's not going. So, she had grand ideas of her own. Sorry, I'm also getting over something. And we love to coordinate our costumes to be matchy-matchy, as we call it. Not to wear like the same thing, but wear complementing costumes. And so yeah, almost every costume I had planned was then scrapped and I had to start fresh. So I am scrambling to make those and record them so I can make them into episodes for you. And my entire packing scheme has changed because I was almost completely packed. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. Changing someone's name on the airline and cruise was more difficult than I thought. ECP, Entertainment Cruise Productions, which is the, I want to say tourist agency that coordinates the Star Trek half of the cruise, which is a separate company from Royal Caribbean, was very good about switching everything. Very good. I'm just called up, hey, my boyfriend's out, my cousin's in, and they were like, fine, awesome, great, you're ready. But everybody else was terrible. The airline was terrible. Royal Caribbean wasn't bad, except they weren't like, oh hey, remember those excursions? You have to make sure you change that too. Like, rebuy what you bought in his name. Because those vanished. So I scrambled for some open excursions. They weren't what I wanted, but whatever, at least we're gonna get to explore the islands a bit. So yeah, it was a thing. It was a thing. But we're back in order, we're back on track. But this is not the entire point of this episode. This episode does have a costume element to it, and it's about rubies. I know that in the process of making this little show, I have started to sound like a Cosermark commercial. It's hard not to, considering their stuff is the best. And when I am looking, like I don't just buy costumes to have them, I like to have a plan. A lot of the costumes that I review I've brought on previous cruises. They've been used. I'm not just spending money to spend money. So when I have the option of buying something that's like been really reliable, I'd much rather do that than spend that same amount or more on rubies and be disappointed. I know I could buy off eBay for cheaper, but it's still like 15, 20 bucks. That doesn't have to leave my pocket. I do plan on finding some. Like if I can find some really cheap ones, I will review them for everybody. But it feels wrong to purposely buy rubies when I know it's going to be garbage, or literally any other manufacturer that's questionable. As you know, I plan to help show you what quality they are, but right now, like, I'm broke. You know, if you've watched my previous videos, last two, you'll see why I'm broke. But I did a thing the other day. I'm going to have a walking about costume, and on the cruise we like to do, every evening has a party, but I like big, bold costumes for those parties, or costumes that are more screen accurate for those parties. But during the day, when there are little events or things like that, when at sea day, when you don't have an excursion, you're not going to be getting off the ship, I like to have a walking about costume. Most of the time, that's just a uniform, just normal human me in a uniform. Sometimes throw on some ears, do the eyebrows, a Vulcan in a uniform. That's a walking about costume. And I decided to go a little bigger with my walking about costumes this year. Nothing uncomfortable. I want to do a data costume. So I'm just gonna like whiten myself up, make myself a little, I'm pretty freaking pale, right? Even paler. I got some contact lenses, and I'm gonna slick back my hair and be like, you know, data for a day. And I needed this. But I couldn't find a next gen costume that was one piece, the right size, made for my body type, until I found what I thought was one of the discontinued women's Coaster Mart versions. And I was like, oh yes, this looks perfect, I'm gonna buy it. And I did. It's not what I'm wearing right now. Look, okay, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Right? Look at that. It's rubies. This was not what was pictured on the listing. I bought this costume from eBay. What was pictured was definitely a Coaster Mart costume. You could tell because of the piping on the collar was correct in the image. This is not that. Whoever was selling this just went online and found a picture of a one-piece next-gen uniform and was like, this is what I'm selling. This is a vintage. Where's the date? God damn it. 1993. Can we talk for a minute about how much better they used to be? Look, this fabric is actually really nice. I mean, it's obviously a plastic, material, but it's not plastic-y. This is a plastic material, but it's not plastic-y. Like, it's soft, it's thick, like you can't see through it. It's really well sewn. Look, the beautiful, I always judge a good start. Look at that point, I can't even get it. Look at that point right there. That's hard to do. The seams are as they're supposed to be for the most part. Wow, like, I'm just very impressed. It's tough, it's beautiful. The zipper is an invisible zipper that hides really well. It needs a zipper. Rubies now you just pull over the top of your head because it's cheap, stretchy bullshit. The one complaint I have about this thing, okay, two complaints. The collar sucks. The collars, I tried it on, the collar's way too wide. It does not have the piping that it's supposed to have. But that would be easily? I could alter that easily. If you're making a Star Trek costume, dear companies that decide to mass produce these, don't print a badge on. Just don't. We don't want it. We don't want your cheap ass printed badge. We'll just buy a good one. Please. Just leave it blank. Leave it blank. I'm just gonna wear a badge. That's the whole point. It's supposed to look kind of authentic. The color, a little orange. I'm not mad at it though, because in certain light, The one that Data's wearing looks orange. This is the Cosmart one that I'm wearing right now. This is the color. It depends on what screen you had as a kid, I guess, what you watched on. What image you look on your cell phone, it can look very different. It fits so well. But am I going to wear it? No. No. I spent $20 on this. And it's a Ruby's. But it's so nice I can't wear it. Like, I can't trash this. I can't convince myself that this is garbage enough to trash by wearing it. Oh golly. Because I will not be able to stand this collar. It's just so wrong. I'll be upset at it being loose all the entire time. I gotta stop saying Yeah, I am so impressed by the quality they used to make, that they used to accomplish. This is really good. Yeah, I've accidentally purchased a collector's item, which is fine. You may have noticed, like, my collection isn't, I don't have a lot of Star Trek things. Like, I have props I've made that I'm very proud of. I have a few, you know, little starships around. I've got my little collection of figures, but my dad gave me my first bunch of those, my first 5 when I was a child, so this is of sentimental reasons. I have some props. I like props and costumes is what I'm after. Like, the stuff is fun, but like, I don't have room in my house. So to accidentally buy a collector's item, I guess this is kind of the best scenario? God, I was 13 when this came out. 13. This is just... I lament for the quality now. Really, just take this off. This a little different. Just make this out of this fabric instead of this foam filled whatever. Perfection. This is what a small Cosmart top fits like. I don't know. 5'3" lady. And so I guess if you normally wear, yeah, it's surprisingly good. Like, I'm not altering this. This came really well. I feel like it's perfect. The arms actually aren't even that short on me. Yeah, this is listed as unisex, and I feel like when it's listed as unisex, it just means that, like, if you're a smaller woman and you buy a small, it's gonna be baggy. You know, that's been my experience. Yeah, but this is really good. This is so good. It's so well made. I'm so happy about it. Oh, I can't wait to go on this cruise. I really need it. I need it so badly. Let me get my stool back. I got this on AliExpress. You can buy it on Wish too. And of course you can go to the Cosmart website. That's who I would trust with this right now. Anyway, that's been my adventure recently. I'm going to edit this really fast and get it out to you guys, because you will probably not hear from me again until after the cruise is done. And then you'll get to see what I made and how I made it, and yeah, a little bit of our adventures. And I can just get back to normal life. Yeah. Live long and prosper, everybody. Kapla, and... You know what's really not great? When your stool develops a squeak